Nice to have you all here this afternoon. Welcome. Now, if I could just ask Councillor Truman to have a blessing, please.
I te atua kaharawa kia tata mai koe kia mātou I tēnei rā. Manaaki te a mātou I mahi katoa I runga I te ingoa. Āmene.
Thank you, Councillor Truman. Also, I'd just like to start off with a very sorry piece of news that we've lost one of our long-standing Taupo residents, Mr. Thomas Orr. Tom was a long-serving borough council staff member, I think from 68 to 88, somewhere around there. Tom was the engineer at the MED, and also Councillor John's stepdad, and also former Mayor Jones' husband for the last 10 or so, 12 years. Thank you, John. So I'd just like to have a minute's silence and think of Tom today as we gather here today, because he would have been in these chambers many a time over the years, and for his input into the town. His service will be on Thursday at 2 o'clock at the Founders Church, Founders by the cemetery there, and we'll be celebrating his life then. So a minute's silence for Tom, please. Okay, thank you very much. All right, I go to
Thank you, David. I'll convey that sentiment to Joan. Thank you.
Thank you, John. No apologies. We've got a full house. Any conflicts of interest? Any of the subjects coming up? Okay, we'll go straight to item number 1. We're all live streaming, are we, Mrs. Dean? Thank you. And welcome to our members of the public out there on the live streaming process throughout the world. Confirmation of the council minutes of the ordinary council meeting on the 8th of December 2015. Is there any clarification or any matters arising from those minutes?
Mr. Chairman.
Councillor Boddy.
Chairman, on page 1/3 there's the report in regards of the snowboarders. I just want to raise an issue in regards of the agenda item on the 8th of December. That item stated that during the initial workshop with council on the matter, now this workshop was back in February, I question about us having knowledge of the sculptures. I've been shown a diagram, 3 diagrams with position shown on those diagrams, which I hadn't seen before, or those plans. But what it states here is there was signalled intent to encourage artwork in and around the CBD, and therefore some infrastructure, such as concrete cliffs, if that's the way you say it, have been installed during the construction period. The response I got, and when I asked for further information, was that they have not been installed yet, as until we know the type and nature of the sculpture. So I believe that agenda item was slightly misleading. And the information I also have stated that the reason we had to make a decision in December, the actual wording is the drawing did not include a plinth at Tamamutu Tongariro Street, hence on the agenda in December we were to approve that location. My question then is, not only have they not been installed, but if we'd already agreed to, as a council, to have 3, why was not one of those 3 positions looked at? That information wasn't supplied. So I just want to raise that issue of, I believe that the agenda item was not correct for the 8th of December.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Boddy. Any other matters arising? Councillor Jollins?
Thank you, Your Worship. Just in regard to 1/2, the Waikato Plan Joint Committee, there was a strategic document that was mentioned in the minutes which was going to be circulated to elected members. I haven't seen a copy yet, so I appreciate it's been Christmas break, but if we could have a copy of this,
Sure.
I'd be grateful, please.
Thank you. Councillor Johns will get that to you.
One
Councillor
one
Body?
further also on that same item. I noticed yesterday that the Northern Regional Council have written to government asking them to pass legislation to say in regards of the ownership of fresh water. And I'm just wondering whether the Waikato mayoral, whatever you like to call them, may like to take that issue up as well, so we do get clarification as who owns this water. The Regional Council of Northern have done it. It'd be nice to see the Waikato group of mayors doing the same thing.
Thank you, Councillor Body. Any other matters arising from those minutes? Okay, that being the case, could I have a mover, please, for those minutes? Thank you, Councillor Krasowski. Seconded by Councillor Body. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against? Carried. Item number 2, Taupo Airport Authority Committee meeting and Emergency Management Committee. Go to the airport first. Any questions or queries on the airport agenda? Minutes?
When I through the chair, being the only person in the room who was actually present for that meeting, I'm happy to move it. Bar any
Thank you.
questions?
Yep. I'll move these on. Are you happy to move the second one too?
Yes.
Yes, I'll move them on block. Any other questions or queries on the Emergency Management Committee meeting? In the case, we have a seconder for those minutes, please. Thank you, Councillor Cousins. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Receipt of the minutes of the Lake Taupo Protection Project Joint Committee, 3rd December. Thank you, Councillor Stewart. Any questions or queries on those? Wants a clarification? Okay, that being the case, could I have a seconder for those minutes, please? Thanks, Councillor Cousins. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Those against? Carried. Item number 4, Chief Executive Officer's Report. Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd like to take the item as read. However, I shall point out a number of interesting or important issues. The first one is the saving with the Owen Delaney Park floodlighting contract, which we have mentioned previously, but the meeting was held with Sky to ask if we did need to upgrade our lighting, and it wasn't the case, so we don't need to upgrade our lighting to meet any new standards for Sky, so that's a project which we can remove. However, there will be a paper presented to Council at some point in the future, hopefully sort of by around Aprilish, where we'll bring to you some maintenance requirements that we do have for those floodlights, so that we can make sure that we've got that covered off. Secondly, under service delivery performance, I just wanted to re-highlight the fact that we are having some continued issues with our wastewater facilities, around the consenting of the wastewater facilities. We're seeking to work with the Regional Council with regards consent conditions and making sure that they are appropriate for the circumstances, and I'm sure Dennis would be able to answer any further questions if you have questions on that, either now or later on in the week. Of particular note, and again, I mentioned it at our end of year function, at the AC Baths Event Centre complex, where our building consents team are currently performing incredibly well in the face of a lot of development recently. So I just wanted to re-emphasise the fact that we've had outstanding results in that area, and we are sort of right up there amongst the best at the moment, and I think it's worth noting. Other than that, happy to take questions. I just note on 4/3 we had an issue with our fireworks. I think that's been widely reported now. I would normally have reported that at this meeting, but we've already seen that reported. So other than that, happy to take questions.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Any questions of Mr. Williams? Thank you. Councillor Krasowski.
Thank you. Just one that comes to mind, and that's a matter of observation on our water usage. I noticed particularly in the area where I live that when we had the week of rain, there were a number of properties who had their sprinkler system going while it was raining quite heavily all day long. And I wonder whether somehow or other we can up our education system or our something or other to make sure that these people do not just use an automatic sprinkler system, but use it as and when required.
Yeah, very much so. We're hoping to heighten our education campaign over the next coming months, and certainly over the next 12 months before next summer. I'm personally hopeful that we can provide a lot more information directly through our website in terms of real-time updates on water usage, and possibly even linking that to our district meters so that we can highlight different areas within Taupo that would be using more water than the average around the district. So there is a strategy that we're hoping to employ, because wasteful use of water is not really acceptable in this day and age.
Thank you.
Would it not be a good
Councillor Harvey?
idea to actually take note of the properties that are doing this and actually send them a friendly letter? Just say, look, we note that the sprinklers are going, they must be on some sort of automatic timing system. We suggest that you look at that. I'm sure they'd appreciate it.
That would certainly form part of an education campaign, I think.
A
Yeah.
direct letter would be not, I'm sure it wouldn't be taken badly.
Thank you, Councillor Harvey. Councillor Boddy.
I do have a number. The first one's on 4, starting page. Partway down under the council meeting of the 24th of November, it states authorise the construction and marketing of Botanicite subdivision 3, B and C, blah, blah. My understanding, because I think it was Councillor Kotowski that moved it, that we would do no more development until 9 sections and the original 12 were sold. Would that be correct? That's not indicated in the minutes, in the CEO's report.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not sure what was in confidence and what wasn't, so I'll just use my words carefully. But yeah, that what's there is true, but there certainly is a number of sections required before anything will progress.
So that the state of the 9 have to be sold before we do anything. How can that be in confidence? I know it was a confidential issue at the meeting, but it just that if I read that as Joe Blogg citizen, I would not understand exactly what council was doing.
Yeah, I'm just not really sure what I can add. So obviously what's there is true, and obviously you've pointed out there's a number of sections that are required to be sold, and that's also correct.
Sorry, whereabouts is it again, Mr. Boddy?
Partway down on page 4, the start of that agenda item. Under committee and council decisions,
okay.
just above council of 8th of December, that sentence there.
So 3B and 3C. Okay. Yeah, so it's we're not actually underway with those yet, are we?
Yeah, but it's not an untruthful fact. I mean, that's part of what the approval was. So yeah, like Will says, we're not sure
Subject
what's.
to, yeah.
We just need to check back to the confidential item.
Yep. Okay, thank you, Councillor Boddy, for raising that.
I do have a few more.
Yep, carry on.
In regards to 4/24, we talk about the hearing at Kinglock Reserve. We have received correspondence from one of the residents out there in regards to possible legal action. Does that have to be noted, or is that something we don't include?
That's included within the main body of my report. I think on the second page of my report.
Yep. Okay, well, I think the report here, 2931. On 4/29, in regards to the Centennial Water Scheme extension, I notice there's a figure under the expenditure of $270. What is that for? It just appeared this month. The other figures are correct.
Dennis, what have you been spending $270 on?
The $270 is staff capitalisation, Tom.
So some hours.
Staff time.
Staff time.
So the 166 that it has as the forecasted cost doesn't include the 270.
It should do.
Okay, it hasn't. So that will be noted in the next.
It will be corrected.
In regards, Mr. Chairman, to the Lake Terrace pathway, Originally, we were told that there would be a couple of sections would be uplifted and replaced. The wording is remedial work to address all defects. Can we have a further explanation as to that? Has anything been lifted? On the Lake Terrace pathway, our document says that remedial work will be done to address some issues. My understanding from prior to Christmas that 2 sections would be replaced. Have they been replaced? Not yet. Not yet, they will be. Thank you. Mr. Chairman. I've just got a question on 4/35 in regards to the Motropa WWTP optimisation. Correct me if I'm wrong, but a previous document said the budget was 1.488 million. It's now shown as 1.66. Is there a reason for that? I'm quite prepared to accept I may be wrong.
We can find out, Councillor, and email you.
I will find out and get back to you, Councillor. I believe you might be right, but I will check that.
4/36, and I raised this at our last meeting or the meeting before in regards to Taupo Road widening. Anticipated completion date, it's still saying April 15. Does it not mean April 16?
Correct.
Chairman, in regards of 4/37, in regards to the Tahara Road seal extension, the November agenda stated that the budget was 470,000. It's now saying it's 400,000. Is that because the job's been completed? What's the reason for those that change?
I don't have an answer why the budget has changed, but the construction has been completed at that cost.
Can we have that, what the original budget was? Because this shows that if that's not correct, then the document's not correct. Thank you. That's all at the moment, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Body. Any other questions of Mr. Williams? Councillor Cousins?
Through the Chair, just a couple of comments if I can make before the questions been asked. First one was on page 4/8, just in regards to the Turangi Reserve Management Plan. November the 14th is when we held the workshop, and we're still waiting for some discussions and resolutions with Turangi Tukua. Without being too blunt, what do I have to do to get things moving along here? Because it's been ridiculous. We've been pretty much tied, you know.
Sorry, I was talking about this morning when we were doing the annual plan workshop, and Turangi Tukua have done 2 names. There was one more name to come from the Settlement Trust. I think it's the Settlement Trust, and they've actually finished 3 names. So now we just need clarification from from Turangi Tukua as to which names they're actually putting forward. So they've been in touch with the Secretary of Turangi Tukua, and a response should be coming soon.
Just through the Chair, do you think we should put a deadline on it so that we don't need things to happen? Because that goalpost being in place, we just seem to wander.
So through Mr. Chairman, I think it's probably the sort of thing that that if we don't hear back from very quickly, given the letter that has gone to the Secretary, then that's something that we would put back to the board at that stage to get them to try and move it on, because you're right, it's been taking far too long. But yeah, I think the board would be the right place to try and use those networks to better push it. Yeah.
I thought maybe Top Taylor had some insight. Yeah, cool.
No more.
I did go to the Hearing MRI committee meeting before Christmas, and at the end of November, beginning of November, and that's when the urgency was put out there with Turangi Tukua, and they have responded quite quickly since then. So.
Great, thank you. 4/13, just in regards to 99% of known dogs are registered each year, or known to be registered. I just want to say well done to Marty and Mike and the rest of the compliance team for pass on my thanks to them for getting that under control. They do a great job, I have to say. I see it firsthand. So just just wanted to compliment on them on that. 4/16 under the 4/16, sorry, 415. This regards to, or is it? No, that's not, sorry. It's water, 416. We don't acknowledge the issues with the arsenic and Motuapa water supply, and we know it's there. There's been some more correspondence and dialogue at Motuapa with the Ratepayers Association about this. They've had 3 tests done, and apparently they've failed every single one. Is there anything we need to do from a risk point of view in regards to this?
With regards to the Motuapa water supply, the risk management plan notes the arsenic content, doesn't it?
That's correct. The water safety plan for Motuapa acknowledges the level of arsenic and identifies what needs to be done, and that's been communicated to the group. I sent through a lot of information to them prior to the meeting over the Christmas and New Year period. They were going to get back to me if they had any issues with that information, and I haven't heard anything post that meeting.
They had an AGM and they've elected a whole new committee, but they were still grumbling about it this year in a nice way. That's fine. Park that up for now, so it's noted. Just under economic development, 4/25, number of bed nights. Just noticed, actually it wasn't, it was length of stay, sorry, so 4/26. Any idea why there's no New Zealand figures there for average length of stay annual growth? We're at 3.9%, but there's no New Zealand average, but all the figures above it refer to a New Zealand average. Any idea what that would be?
Short answer is I don't know. I'll find out.
Yep, that'd be awesome. Thank you. And finally, just to stand up for Turangi here, just over the page, you've got economic development highlights. You've got major events, King of the Ring, Ironman, Reggae by the River, and the Cycle Challenge. How many people were at King of the Ring? I don't know.
Yeah.
1,500 tickets sold, probably about 2,000 sort of, by the time you take in volunteers and everything. Yeah.
Can we just include the Turangi's 50-year celebration, because there was 3.5 people there, so we'd like to think that was
3,500.
Just saying.
Good point. Excellent too, isn't it? Okay, you'll put that in, Shani? Very good. Councillor Truman.
Just on page 4/6, just in regards to the upgrade of the town centre, just for the councillors to be aware that we are still, the group's still discussing it, but it looks as if we're going to have to do it in stages, like break the project down again in stages to be able to afford it, while some funding applications are being put out. So I just wanted to...
What centre was that, sorry?
That's for the town centre.
Town centre,
so
okay.
Playground,
Cool.
so it's playground and seating and shades. Yep, in the town centre.
Thank you. Very good. All right.
Finally, Mr Chairman, I
Councillor Boddy.
indicated to my fellow councillors and yourself I'll be raising the issue of the town centre do-up in regards to the tiles and some of the workmanship. I know Andrew's here, and Andrew has been to the Access meeting, explaining a few things, but my issue is, and I'd like to know, the council sign off the completion before the workers picked up their tools and left. It's all very well to say it will come back and correct it. I was visited by a landscaper that's been in town here well over 30 years who said most of the job he believed was nearly second rate. I know 2 councillors and yourself have been down to that one particular corner. So I'd just be interested in how it's going to be handled, because I believe there's a lot of remedial work still to be done.
Okay, come through, and sorry, come up. So the question is, what's the process under the contract as to completion and all that sort of thing?
Yeah, the contractor completes the work, does his own QA to tell them that he believes that the project is finished to acceptable standard. We do an inspection ourselves. If we have any defects that we consider to be needing work, we will issue that to the contractor, and he will make it good to our satisfaction. At the moment on Tamamutu Street, there's remedial work being carried out literally right now. So we've identified some issues with the paving, and we've told the contractor some time about them, and they remain current now. So that process is where we are, irrespective of whether it's working in the town centre or a building or whatever. The process is that the contractor will tell us that it's practically complete, and we will inspect it. Defects list is not unusual, and then he will make good to our satisfaction. We still have retention money held back on that project. That's a pretty standard process.
So the current job in Town Moody Street, that has not been finished yet?
No.
No, so you have not signed that off yet?
No, we haven't.
No. Okay, so remedial work is currently underway?
I'm hoping that by the end of this week, that remedial work will be finished, and we'll carry out a re-inspection.
So if Councillor Body has some concerns, he can come and see you as to what those are. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. Thank you, Andrew, for that explanation. So effectively, the remedial work will be the uplifting of the tiles that aren't level. For instance, I've got a number of photographs, and one is on the crossing that goes from Dick Smith's across the road, where the lip's about that much. A number of them, you scrape your foot along the pavement. Now, I'm coming from a perspective of sitting on that access committee, and we're dealing with people that are blind, that use canes, etc., etc., etc. If we're doing that street corner up, I know the problems in Tamamutu, I know the problems in Taupo. To me, it doesn't seem to be a job that you could take much pride of because of the fact we now have to go back and do remedial work. So I'll wait for that remedial work to do, and if I still have a problem with it, I'll come back.
Yeah, by all means.
Mr Williams?
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, what's the retention period? What's the maintenance period? Is it a 12-month or
We have, on that project, we have 12 months.
Yep.
And similarly, we have 12 months on the Great Lake Railway.
Right.
So if anything happens within that period, we have money held back on both of those for remedial work to be done.
And Mr Chairman, that would be a percentage. What's that percentage?
It varies. It's a sliding scale. It's 10% up to 200,000. It's 5% on the remaining, on the next 100,000. So really that covers it with those two projects. So in general, it's 10%. So on, for example, on the Great Lake Walkway, it's just under 20,000. It'll be more on this one. Normally, a practical completion, 50% of retentions will be paid out, and the remaining 50% would only be paid out at the end of the maintenance period, when we will carry out an inspection. If anything's gone up or down since then, we will call the contractor back, and he would make that good. We've just done that now with the last stage of Turangi, which became the end of the maintenance period was December last year, and we've just inspected that. A couple of things have been done, and we're just about to pay the invoice for that.
Thank you.
Councillor Cousins?
Thank you. Just on that, thank you, Andrew. That's the plinths, is it, for those 4 fish?
That's part of it, yes, we're having that done now. I'm just waiting for the contractor to come back to me on that, but I'm expecting that to be done this month.
They'll repair that.
Yes. Made good, put back up.
Okay.
And safe.
A few frustrated people, I think, because they were meant to be up before Christmas, but
I'm one of them.
thank you.
Okay, thanks Andrew, and thank you Councillor Body for raising that. Well, just before you go, just on the positive side, I've been inundated with people congratulating on us on the actual upgrade and the work. People just bail me up, supermarket, wherever, saying how great it looks and how good it is. So just please pass on to your team that the aesthetics and all that is outstanding, and especially this with the latest event over the weekend, just the people wandering through there you could just see the enjoyment they were having. So well done.
Flattering email from the manager of the ANZ Bank on that corner.
Right.
What we've done and how it's changed the environment around the entrance to the bank.
Absolutely.
Well done.
Okay. Thank you, Andrew. All right. Any other questions of Mr. Williams? That being the case, there's a recommended resolution there on 4/3. It's moved by Councillor Cousins, seconded by Councillor Hickling. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Thank you, Mark. Those against, carried. Okay, item 5, reappointment of the District Licensing Committee approved members. Mr. Scott Davenport. Good afternoon, Scott.
Good afternoon. No, not today. Save that for special occasions. So hopefully this is a nice quick one. I'll take the report as read. Just a quick summary. The District Licensing Committee has been running now for 2 years since the new Alcohol Act came into place. It's been very effective, functioning well, and we are looking at reappointing the chair and the committee for a further 3 years. So the Sale and Supply of Alcohol Act allows us to have that appointment for 5 years. We decided to just try for the 2 years to start with, given the fact it was a new act, and we wanted to get a feel for how things were working before we took that next step. So we're happy and comfortable with how that process is going, and so the recommended resolution is to reappoint all those committee members for a further 3 years.
Thank you, Scott. So the actual, the process, people applying, all that sort of things flowed pretty well, is it? Have you declined any this year? Sorry, we're going into operational stuff here, but...
About 1 or 2 hearings.
No.
So generally, majority of
Committee's
applications
working
come
well,
in.
you're not
It's a
getting-
simple decision that goes through just the chair. It's only ones that we have objections to that end up in a hearing process, and that's quite a small percentage.
And you feel it's a good spread from around, the industry and...
Yep, feedback's been good.
Yep, feedback's good. Okay, good, good.
Your Worship.
Yes.
I'd just like to support the appointment of Murray Clearwater, working with Murray on this licensing committee. He's an excellent commissioner for our area.
Good.
He's really, I think, the best person we could get for the licensing committee.
Great,
great.
Chairman, I would certainly endorse that. I've known Mr Clearwater since he was about 5 years of age. History goes back a while. As Councillor Hickling has indicated, his knowledge is exceptional. And he's very valuable when we come to a situation where we have to make a decision. He knows the background. So I certainly support that.
Cool. All right, Councillor Krasowski.
If the current proposed councillors are willing to continue, I'm more than happy to move the suggested resolution.
You think they're fit and proper for the role, Councillor Krasowski? No problems at all. You get sample the products? No? No, that's right.
Not allowed.
The audit committee was...
All right, okay, there's a recommended resolution there of those particular names, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Do I have a mover, please? You've moved. Councillor Krasowski, seconded by Councillor... Ooh.
Not second.
Yeah. No, you've moved it. Councillor Stewart, all those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Those against? Carried. Very good. Item number 6. Council engagement. Thanks, Scott. Gina. Oh, all pretty straightforward, is it? Yes. Yeah. And there's some. Is there any date changes?
So there's just the change, Taupo Airport Authority meeting, which is now on the 16th rather than the 22nd.
16th of Feb. Yep. Same
11 o'clock with a strategic planning workshop earlier from 9, which is closed.
Thank you. And there's a couple of attendances required there. Zone 2 meeting.
That's correct.
26th of February, and also the National Emergency Management Conference.
Yep.
The 2 councillors that have been suggested, are they still available to attend that?
Oh, Your Worship, just through the chair, I actually put this up. The CEO of the Ministry of Civil Defence was at a joint committee meeting, and it was strongly suggested that joint committee members and alternates attend this. So if our fellow councillors would allow us, we'd definitely be grateful.
Cool. Thank you, Councillor Park. Okay, Zone 2, Councillor Kosowski, you still okay to go to that?
I'm not free, but I'm prepared to be reasonable.
Yeah. Thank you. Does anyone else want to go to the Zone 2 meeting in Rotorua? Councillor Park and Kosowski. Who else want to do? Anyone else? No? Okay, now Taupo District's Council's representative of the Taupo Safer District Committee. Who was
Through the
previously on
chair,
that?
I was just wondering, how often do they meet and what day of the week is it? Is it a daytime or a nighttime meeting? Does anyone have any details?
Almost not here, is he?
They normally meet on a monthly basis on a Friday for a couple of hours during the day, yes.
I'd be reasonably keen.
Councillor Harvey? All right, is everyone happy with Councillor Harvey being our attendee on that? Thank you, Councillor Harvey, appreciate the offer.
Good morning, I can manage it.
Very good. Okay, suggested resolution 1, 2, 3 and 4. Could I have a mover, please? All those, Councillor Hickling, seconded by Councillor Williamson. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Those against? Carried. Members' reports. Item number 7. Push those forward to please to Shaney. And has anyone got any verbal reports? International travel, Councillor Johns? We'll have a slideshow sometime. Thank you very much. Councillor Harvey.
Can I just comment on the, I had a meeting last week with the Waiora House, just regarding the Waiora House issue. And the CAB, I know you probably go, oh no. However, there is a special meeting coming up to discuss their proposed amendment. And on that, at the same time, they're also bringing up another amendment. They want to change the incorporated society to a trust. So I think that it's worthy of further discussion, maybe afterwards, if we can do that as a group. Yeah, the meeting's on Friday. I think we just need to discuss this a bit further, because I think there are still some undiscussed issues.
Who's the best to comment on that? Rob?
What is to discuss?
Yeah, what Councillor John said, Waiora House wanting to change their, Councillor Harvey, sorry.
Well, they've put this on the same. They asked you, most of you were at that meeting that we had their AGM, and a proposed amendment was made by the CAB, and so they've arranged for that meeting to be held, but they've also added another agenda item. That's it, and they want to change from an incorporated society to a charitable trust, which, I don't know, maybe that's okay, but we are running this.
Would we have a view on that, or?
That's what I'm saying. Do we have a view?
Yeah.
No repercussions for us?
I don't know. So I need some advice here. Do we need to make a view on that, or do we just leave the trust to run their own affairs?
From my perspective, I think we need to leave the trust as it is to make their own decisions on what they want to do and how they want to govern themselves moving forward. I mean, we have our own policies in place moving forward, which we can review the deliverers as they come through that. But I think it's up to the trust to decide what format they want to deliver their services in, whether it's a trust or an incorporated society. Does that help?
I tend to agree with that view. I don't think
Appropriately advertised.
No.
Yes.
Well,
Special meeting.
they
been in the
didn't advertise the amendments as they were asked to be. They were not exactly right. So this is what I'm saying. I don't know.
Okay, well, I encourage
we
anyone
need
that's
to
probably
discuss it.
particularly interested to go along to there's a meeting date.
Yeah, the meeting's on the
Yeah.
5th of February at 12:30 at the Taupo Room at Waiora.
So that's this week, isn't it? 5th of February. Okay, thank you, Councillor Harvey, for raising that. Anyone that's interested, I'm sure will be able to go along. Councillor Hickling?
Just another item, Your Worship. With that quite nasty accident, just the Taupo side of Aotearoa, I've been getting quite a few emails from the Transport Committee The Transport Authority have done 2 repairs on the road. It's still not to their particular standard. There's still some real issues with the seal. And they have put a 50-kilometre speed limit on that over the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
Pending further investigations. They're not really sure why it's happening, but they've certainly done some remedial work on it twice. But it's still unsatisfactory from a point of view of being safe and having a good surface for road users.
Okay.
So,
cool.
Just like to report.
So was it the wrong? Was it the incorrect seal applied or something? Was it? Or?
The seals
Without getting too much
up
detail.
to the top, so it's very slippy, shiny, and just a slight shower of rain. It's almost like an oil slick. They've tried, as I say, 2 remedial works on it, still not improved it.
So is that likely to be coming out in the coroner's report, or?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, thank you for keeping us informed on that. Yeah. Okay. Councillor, sorry, Shane?
Just 4 little points I wanted to raise. 4 of them, all 4 of them are old chestnuts. The Lions Company you're not too sure if you're aware, but they've released a consultation document. That's a new contract for customers. It's causing some hoo-ha at the southern end of the lake. It's particularly clause 26, which relates to if you complain as a customer, they have the right to terminate supply, which is a bit...
I just add to you for that, I'm actually one of the people that have been asked to sit on the panel. So I've been working with community organisations and community groups to put together submissions through what they've asked me to do, to put submissions through. And there's another person from Turangi and 2 from each area that the Lions Company cover that have been asked to sit on this panel. And we're watching those clauses very closely. And yeah, they also are having submissions from the public as well, and it will all be collated. And this is a draft new terms and conditions. It's replacing the 2009 terms and conditions, and so it's in draft form at the moment. And so yeah, I'd encourage people to put their thoughts forward.
Okay, thanks, Maggie.
So the second one was that other little topic of freedom camping. As this time of the year, it's been quite pronounced across the lake. The most recent was some boys from Germany who parked up on the road, a side road in Turangi, and camped for 3 days on the road in their beds, and had their table out and were playing cards and hacky sack and going to the pub and drinking everyone's leftover beer out of the bottles on the outside tables and stuff. These are classy people we have in the district.
Germans.
You know, so
Germany.
German
People wouldn't do that, would they?
So these
Polish, not German.
I didn't see them.
So yeah, I've had to call the police a couple of times to move people along, but there was a phone call to me today from a concerned ratepayer, Taupo one. You guys aren't doing your job. I'm getting calls for you up here about the dock reserve and about how they're setting up tents for communal games now. They're doing communal games down on the reserve across the road, the dock one down on the lake front here. They've actually got
5 Mile Bay.
Is it 5 Mile? Sorry.
Yeah.
And they've got set up communal tents now where they go and play cards and do outdoor sporting events and stuff. I'm just a bit concerned about how far that's all going. The greatest thing for me at the moment is tree poisoning. This morning, or tree poisoning and tree cutting down. This morning I got called to Motuapa Reserve, which is why I was late. Someone cut down a tree on the reserve for views 2 nights ago, and the boys were there from council clearing it. It's really become an issue for us down there, where people from out of town seem to think it's their right to chop trees down for a view. Ongoing problem, I'm sure. I'm not a tree hugger at all, but I'm finding that a disgusting sort of act, vandalism. I spoke to a couple of staff today about possibly posting a reward for information leading to an arrest for these people. Happy to do it myself, but don't know how it would look with Councillor Cousins offering 10 grand reward for information. But is there any ideas that council staff might have that we can try and control this situation? because it's horrible seeing a 14-year-old oak tree chopped off.
Scott's not here at the moment, is he? But his compliance, but certainly you can prosecute, can't you?
We offer 20Ks out, but we never catch them.
Right, yeah.
How do you prove it? You know, and all the silver birches at the bottom of the marina, bottom of the hill at Motuaba have been poisoned, drilled and poisoned in the last week. I'm not too sure how many, 7 or 8, I think. And it's the same for you guys up here. Apparently, there's a bum reserve here where all the trees have been just poisoned and chopped down. Ian Ashmore told me this morning. I've seen all the councillors, I think, pictures of the tree that they chopped down. It sickens me. And Bully Point, I don't know if you heard about the lady who pulled up in her car, opened her door, and a car came around the corner and took her door off. So she parked up in a car and left in a go-kart because she parked on the side of the road.
She's okay though.
Yeah, she was born. But another good reason for transit to hurry up and do something with that road. Anyway, that's me.
All right, thank you, Councillor Cousins. Just trying to sort of remain on track here. Councillor Boddy, did you have
I
something?
just had a couple of issues. One I raised a few months ago was in regards of the success or not success of the changes to the climbing wall. At that stage, I was told we hadn't gone through 6 months, it was too early. I'm just wondering whether we could have an indication for the February meeting, exactly where we are in regards to the fact that we kept it going for a number of years, whether it is on track to break even. It would be interesting. I've also raised at a previous meeting when we had a gentleman walk in here and sit up where Mrs. Jakes is. I noticed that the Ashburton District Council had a lockdown the other day as a practice. Now, I don't want to dramatise things, but when we start having councils sticking something in place to lock down the facility, are we a little bit behind the times? Mr. Fox might be able to comment on that.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do. I think because of the time frame, we're diverting a little bit. It's members' reports, conferences, seminars, and professional development things that we've been on. But certainly, I think because I'm giving a bit of tolerance here because we've got a bit of time on our side. But if you have some queries about safety and security, I think Mr. Fox probably have to answer that.
Just raise the general issue when the council's already done it.
All right, that's fine. Any other members' reports? No.
Perhaps could I just quietly comment on the concert, which was great. I know that some people prefer not to go, but I'd just like to say that we did have the opportunity to chat with out-of-town ratepayers who kindly sat at our table, who just came up and sat down, which was great. They said, "Whose this table?" And we said, "It's the council." "Oh, good, we're ratepayers, we'll sit down," and which they did, which was great. And we did have a really, really good chat, and it was probably really worthwhile. A lot of stuff was discussed about town and how they felt about it, and it was really positive.
Cool.
So just like to pass on that feedback.
Excellent. Thanks, Councillor Harvey. Councillor
I'd also like to endorse this. I was actually at that table as well. Endorse Councillor Davies and Councillor Park. Just the feedback we're getting from several out-of-town ratepayers as to the positive sides and commentary about how things could be done better, but there wasn't too many of those comments. So yes, I found that very, very.
A couple were from Hamilton,
Tauranga, Palmerston.
Tauranga, yeah.
Cool.
And they come every year and meet up, and it was great.
It's the first time they've ever had like physical conversation with a councillor, and they've been, one of them has been a ratepayer here and voting for 27 years. So.
Who was your favourite artist? Melissa.
You should have been last.
No, it was an outstanding event, and well done to, and actually the industry that's created right around the whole event, whether it's the food vendors,
Right.
The businesses that are associated with that event now. It's quite a huge investment. All right, okay. Mover, please, for that members' reports be received. Thank you, Councillor Stewart. Seconded by Councillor Cousins. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against? Carried. Okay, it's the end of the public part of the meeting. There's a resolution there for the confidential part. If I could have a mover, please, for the reasons outlined. Moved by Councillor Park and seconded by Councillor Ickling. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against? Carried.